18 gauge, I think, would also be really good. This seems to be okay. Depending on the size of the bait, they use different gauges. These are for making the eyelets. And you can buy eyelets and screw them in, or you can make your own. And if you do, I think the reason that sometimes they're handmade is so you can embed them deeper. So, cut off a piece of wire about that long, and I am going to bend it as close as I can in half. And I have a small drill here, and I found that if you use a drill that looks the right size, it's going to come out bigger than you need. So I have a fairly small one. I'm going to bend this. And then I am going to take and put the ends, the loose ends, in the chuck of this drill. And I've already made one of these, so this is just a demo right here. I found that if you put the wires really close together, put it in the center, as if it were a drill bit, it doesn't work as good. You need to keep them spread out a little bit so that the wires hit the flat parts of the chuck, and by doing that, it doesn't slip in the drill. So here's the wire in the chuck. I'm going to put it around the drill and just start it turning. One of the nice things about video editing is it started to slip in the chuck, so I took it off, but I was able to cut that out, so it makes it look like I didn't make any mistakes, like I had it right the first time. Okay, that looks pretty tight. I'm going to undo the chuck here. And slip this off the drill. And maybe straighten the eye loop out a little bit. This video is probably going all blurry on me. And there it is. So we now have 3 eye loops ready to go in the bait. And let's see what happens when I put it in here. trimming this slightly shorter than the length of drill that I drilled in there. So this like that. Now, I'm about to drill a hole for the lead in the bottom. Since this is the first time I've ever done this, I don't know how deep I should drill it, so I'm going to drill it a little deeper, put some lead in, and then I can always drill the lead out a little bit. And then we'll test it in water after it's sealed to see how it's going, and then we'll go from there as far as adjusting the amount of lead. I would imagine after a while I might be able to get a better idea for it after I've done a few of these. So, off to drill the lead hole. Well, I have this 3/8 inch Forstner bit that okay, this is where the 5-minute 2-part epoxy comes in. I've got that. I have a small pallet to mix it on. I have my crankbait bill. I have my 3 eye loops that have been cut to length. And I have taken the bill and roughed it up with some sandpaper on the end to give it better gripping power or adhesion. So, let's go with this. This will be much more than I need, I'm sure. First, the eyelets. Pick them up here. One here in the belly first. Line them up straight. I think I need to get a drill that's slightly smaller. I'm sure the epoxy will hold these, but I'd rather that they went in with a little more pressure. Then bill. How that goes in fairly snugly. Everything is lined up here. I don't know if you've noticed, but I thought the crankbait that I made was a little too square shouldered, so I did round off the bottom and the top more. So it's much rounder. I think that's going to be a lot better. And we will set that aside. Now, for ballast, the crankbait has to have some lead in here. I don't have lead, but I do have this solder. They haven't made lead solder in a long time. And I have made this makeshift lead melting pot. They sell these online. And they're fairly expensive. They're like $80 to $120. And I thought, gee, I just need to melt some lead. So I have this brass cap with a hole in it, and I have this rod that's tapered to a point that goes in the hole and makes a plug mounted on this stand. And if I melt the lead in here and then move this up and down with a little luck, I should be able to drip the lead into the crankbait. That's the plan anyway. So let's give it a shot. It takes about a minute for the lead to melt in here. It didn't go as smoothly as I thought it would, but it wasn't bad. Maybe I need a few modifications with this, but I think it'll be fine. God, I hope that's enough lead. I'm not sure. I can't wait to test it though. Okay, I've taken some super glue or CA glue, and I just took a plastic glove. I dripped it on here and then spread it out. This will seal the crankbait, one, so I can test it in the water, and two, to seal the wood. Stuff I got is thicker than it says. It says it's thin, but it's not. It's quite thick. So that I think the next time I will try to get some really thinner stuff. But time to hang this up. This isn't lead solder, because you haven't been able to buy that in years, but it's pretty hefty. So, this is the maiden voyage of this miniature lead pot for melting lead and putting it in the belly of the baits. And if it works, and I actually start using it, I'll set it up a little bit better with a torch. I don't want to build something for nothing here. Okay, let's light this up. I'll be cutting out part of this video so you don't have to wait for it. Oh, it's starting to melt. Didn't have to cut out too much. Started to melt within about a minute. Okay, it looks like I can control the dripping just by slowly twisting or jiggling this. I'm lifting it up a little bit. And now I'm pushing it down. I'm lifting it up and pushing it down. Fortunately, this thing on the aluminum stays loose, so I won't have to worry about getting it unstuck from there. Let me see, is any left? Yep. I think this is going to work. Well, I think that if I had ground this rod, this point down rounder, which is hard to do on a grinder, it would have made a more solid fit. So it does drip a tiny bit if I don't move the rod. If I just twist it a little bit, it'll drip a little faster. And the ball of lead comes out, but I can just, like I did it actually twice, I can just put it back in and it remelts. So this would last quite a while. Okay, we'll call this a success. I also could have probably just done this and taken the torch and dripped it into the bait by heating it up, but I don't know how controlled that would be. So this is my poor man's answer, I guess, to a lead pot, and I think we'll make a go of this for a while and see how it goes. This is a prototype. Maybe in the future I'll try to make things work a little more smoothly, but for right now, this is going to be used for this.